Why are there so many toxic relationships in this world? I mean, really, what is going on? What is the purpose of all these toxic, crazy relationships that we have going on right now? Hi, everybody. This is me, Zan. Welcome back to my channel. I want to talk to you today about these relationships. Like, why are there so many toxic relationships? Like, what is the meaning of that? What is the purpose of all these toxic relationships? I believe that there is a reason for this. We live in a supernatural world, right? We don't live in a natural world. We live in a supernatural world. And when you encounter many different relationships, toxic relationships, crazy relationships, what ends up happening is that you open up your soul, right? You open up your emotions to these relationships or to this new person that you're dating, and you open up your emotions with them because you want to be transparent with them and you want to be vulnerable with them. And so, but when it doesn't work out, there is hurt and trauma that gets attached to the heart or the emotions. So you have to know that the emotions are part of the mind or part of the soul. So the emotions, the will, the mind, and the emotions are a part of the mind. And that's all a part of the soul. So when there's scars and trauma that you deal with from bad relationships, negative relationships, toxic relationships, these things get deposited down inside of the mind or in the emotions and in the soul. So every time you have a crazy relationship or a toxic relationship, these things affect you very, very deeply. Like if you're in a relationship with somebody and they say very negative or hurtful things to you, like you're nothing, I don't even know why I'm with you, you're stupid, you're dumb, I mean, this is crazy. Why I don't even know why I even be bothered with you. And so when you allow yourself to be a part of that and around that toxic energy, and this person is saying all these toxic words to you, and these negative words now form images, right? And then these images now go down inside of your heart or down inside of your mind, and they take root inside of your emotions, and your emotions, which are part of the mind. So why am I saying this? So when you are in these toxic relationships, it does many different things to you. So it's affecting you emotionally. It's affecting the image or how you see yourself down on the inside. It's affecting how you see yourself. Trust me, it is. Not only is it affecting how you see yourself, it's affecting how you see not only yourself, the world. It's affecting how you see men, how you see men in the world and how you view relationships, how you view men and your attitude and your thoughts regarding men. It's forming opinions about men, and it's forming opinions about yourself and about society, relationships, and so forth. So toxic relationships do many, many different things. So you're in a toxic relationship, okay? It didn't work out. Let's say it was verbally abusive, or maybe he's even physically abusive. And so when you have these type of relationships, now it does such trauma and scarring to you emotionally. It's affecting you emotionally, affecting your soul. Now it's going to affect your image, and now that's going to affect how you see yourself, right? Somebody says something negative to you long enough, you start to believe it. Napoleon said, if you say something long enough to a person, they'll begin to believe it. There is another thing that they say in learning. Repetition is the mother of learning. I'm going to say this. Repetition also is the scarring of the soul. So you get enough of that said to you negatively long enough, you will start to believe it, or it's going to affect the very foundation of who you are. And so this is very, very, very critical. So the reason why, we live in a supernatural world. We're dealing with darkness. We're dealing with light, everything. We're dealing with demons. We're dealing with angels. I mean, this is the world that we live in. So when all these negative relationships and toxic relationships are being poured into your life, it's doing a lot of different things. So not only is it affecting your image, right? It's affecting your image, how you see yourself, but it's also affecting your purpose. It's affecting your identity, which affects your purpose. Yes. So when the image in the inside of you is twisted, or the image inside of you is warped, or it has been skewed in another direction, because when you have all these negative relationships in your life and these toxic relationships, what it ends up doing, it ends up sabotaging your identity, because now your identity is now becoming twisted because of these negative things that this person is saying to you, or this negative experience, or this negative environment you've been placed yourself in when you were dealing with these toxic relationships. So now it is affecting how you see yourself. It's affecting your identity. So God says that you're wonderful, that you are amazing, that you can do anything, you can be anything. Sky's the limit. There are no ceilings, there are no barriers. But all of a sudden now, when these negative things are said to you, what happens? Fear tries to come in. And fear is a very unnatural emotion. Well, it is a spirit, but it is an emotion. And fear is crippling. So now fear has come in and it's twisting your identity, because it already twisted your image of you. And it's twisting your identity of you. So now what is it going to do? It's going to sabotage your destiny. It's going to sabotage your purpose. So that's why negative relationships and toxic relationships, it is vitally important that you get out of them as soon as you can. Right away. You must get out right away. Because if you don't, it begins to warp your image of yourself. And that is exactly what the enemy is after. So that's why all these negative relationships come into your life constantly, because it is to thwart your purpose and thwart your destiny. It's to sabotage it, steal it from you, rob you of your true identity, rob you of who you really are. Your God-given right to be great, your God-given right to be wonderful, your God-given right to be successful, to be wealthy. It's your God-given right. You were born this way. But these negative things and these negative relationships come into your life to sabotage your true identity and to sabotage your God-given right to be successful and your God-given purpose. So that is the whole reason. It starts out with distraction. Because all of these relationships, it's distracting you. You can't focus on destiny. You can't focus on purpose because you're thinking about this ridiculous relationship and this empty relationship and this stupid thing that this guy said to you and this dumb thing that this person said to you. So your mind is focused on all these ridiculous things. So you're constantly being distracted. It's distracted, constantly knocked off your square over and over and over again. You start doing something and then your mind goes like, what? Oh. And then you completely, totally distracted. And when you think about what you were doing, it's weeks later, maybe even months later, maybe even years, because you have been in this empty, dead-end relationship that you were never, ever, ever, ever supposed to be a part of. You know, they say that the two biggest decisions you'll ever make in your life, one is giving your life to Christ. Another is buying a house. But the second one, runner up after giving your life to Christ, is the person that you marry. One wrong move there can turn your whole life down this whole other road, and you look up 10 years have gone by, 15 years, 20 years have gone by, and you were in this crazy cycle, nutso relationship that God never meant for you to be in. This is not even the person that God chose for you. But he allowed you to go in and do it because he does not control you. He gave you free will. Now, he may say, no, don't do that. Because he'll prompt you and get your attention to say, hey, don't do that. But sometimes we're so hell-bent on doing what we want to do. And he is a gentleman, and he'll let you do what you want to do because he gave you free will. But he'll tell you don't do that, but it's up to you to obey him. So now your life is down this other road. So this is why it is imperative that you seek the Lord. When you're dating, seek him. Definitely when you're talking about getting married to somebody, But you need to seek him in the dating. You need to seek him in the relationship phase, because that phase, that process of vetting this person is so very, very, very key and very, very important, because it's in this period right here that contamination can begin, because the enemy is trying to contaminate your emotions. Contaminate your emotions is contaminating your mind, is contaminating your soul. And if he can pour contamination in there, that's exactly what he wants. Then he can twist you and turn you this way and turn you that way and get you off track, get you off course. And that is not what you want. He wants to twist your identity and twist your emotions and ultimately rob you of purpose and destiny. Don't let him do it to you. Listen for God, listen to God, and do what he tells you to do in this relationship phase. It's very, very, very key, very vitally important that you don't waste time in a relationship that's going to be toxic, because it can be detrimental to your emotions and detrimental to your soul. That's all I got for you guys. I love you. I love teaching you. I hope you got value out of this. If you did, don't forget to click like and subscribe and hit the bell for notification and the next show that I will do. All right? Love you guys. Talk to you soon. Bye.